All right, so Mark chapter 12, the breakdown part 2. So Mark chapter 12's main themes are divine judgment and authority, with Jesus using a parable to condemn the wicked Jewish leaders, establishing God's authority over the kingdom. It also covers Jesus' clever responses to traps set by the Pharisees, Herodians, and the Sadducees regarding paying taxes to Caesar and the nature of the resurrection. It concludes by highlighting the true meaning of the law with the greatest commandment: love God and neighbor, and praising a poor woman's selfless offering. So the key passages and their meaning. So the first one is the parable of the wicked tenants, verses 1 through 12. Jesus describes a vineyard owner who sends servant and finally his son to collect his produce from tenants who then kill them. Jesus applies his parables to the Jewish leaders who reject God's prophets and ultimately reject and kill his son, leading to God's judgment and the transfer of the kingdom to others. Next one is taxes to Caesar, verses 13 through 17. When asked about paying taxes to the Roman emperor, Jesus uses the image of Caesar's inscription on coins to teach that people must give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. This highlights the dual responsibility of worldly and divine allegiance. Number 3, marriage and the resurrection, verses 18 through 27. The Sadducees who denied resurrection challenged Jesus with a hypothetical scenario about a woman who married 7 brothers. Jesus, he scared me. Jesus reveals that those resurrected are like angels and don't marry, and he uses the phrase, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, to prove that God is the God of the living, not the dead. I forgot what number we're on, but the greatest commandment, verses 28 through 34. A scribe asked Jesus to identify the most important commandment. Jesus declares that the greatest is to love your God with all your heart and all your soul, and with your mind, all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so the last one is the widow's offering, verses 41 through 44. Jesus commends a poor widow who, despite her poverty, puts in 2 small coins, 2 mites. He explains that her offering was greater than all the other rich offerings because she gave from her want, demonstrating selfless devotion. That's good. All right, y'all. So I just seen something that caught my eye. So it says the main point of Mark 12 is that God's son will be rejected only to be vindicated, and that those who reject him will be judged. Alright, y'all, so that is all I have for Mark breakdown chapter 12, part 2. I'll see you guys later. Bye.